So I'm in Krakow for a change, and I've come here to the Podgorze side, across the Vistula, away from the Rynek and most of the tourist attractions, to visit my favourite church in the city. I think it's even prettier than the more famous Mariatsky Church, and that is the Church of St. Joseph. So let's go and take a look. With Closely Observed World, I'm Christopher Walker. So guys, here we are. This is the Church of St. Joseph in Krakow in the Podgorze district. It's gentrified, really. I was here many years ago, and this square was certainly not as nice as it is now. But this church was built in the 1900s. It's kind of Gothic style. You've got all the sharp spires, pointy shapes. I love it. I think it's brilliant, and I love the square that it's set in just here. This has all been done up in the last couple of years. This was a bit of a mess when I first came here, to be honest, back in 2006. I remember coming here and taking a photo of somebody walking their West Highland Terrier, and the photo of that Westie turned out to be such a stereotypical picture of a Westie that I think it's still to this day used on the Wikipedia entry for West Highland Terriers. Now don't hold me to that, because it might have changed since I last checked, but hey, that's my little claim to fame. So let's go and have a look around this area and inside the church. There's something peculiarly French about the streets here, I find. Maybe it's this leafy suburb that I find myself in, but I don't know, I like it. It's pretty cool. There's the church. So I think it's time to go and have a look inside. See what that's all about, eh? It's a balmy June day. Nice and sunny, but I've waited until the sun's a bit lower in the sky to come and make this video. I don't like it when it's too hot. Let's have a look inside, shall we? So this is, as the sign says, the Church of St. Joseph. And I'm going to shut up now. The bells are ringing. I think it's the bells here. But I don't rightly know. Yeah. Aha, that would explain it. Take a look. There we are, that's where that sound's coming from. Wow, that was something. Yeah, this church is known for its bells. Didn't realise that the bell tower is actually a separate building. It's this one you can see over my shoulder. So I'm here now in the sculpture garden. I didn't even know this thing existed. This place gets better and better. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Well, I'm impressed. I'm not usually that given over to sculptures, but this sculpture garden is very well done. The quality of the work is first rate. It looks like a real artist was responsible for these pieces. They're a joy to behold. This one's about the Warsaw Uprising. That's a pretty interesting piece itself, isn't it? Kind of impressionistic, but still pretty dramatic. That takes me round the back of the church. There's a little cafe and a play area down just here, it seems. But I'm not stopping for a coffee. I'm pushing on a bit further because there's something else I want to check out whilst I'm here. So, had a look around the church. Very impressed. Got to hear the church bells. Very impressed. Saw the statue garden, very impressed. But there's something else worth visiting if you come over to this side of Krakow, so I think I'm going to go and check that out now. I first came here, gosh, what would it have been? 2008, I think? Maybe 2006 as well. It's so long ago, I can't even remember. But anyway, around Krakow there are several places where you find these mounds. Or in Polish I think the word is kopiec. They have a special meaning, each one. They're kind of like burial mounds. They're important landmarks within the city. And there's one just round the corner here. So we're going to go and have a look at it. So it's not a long walk, hopefully. Memory doesn't serve very well. Let's go and have a look. Can't be too far. Someone's come to say hello. So I followed the road up the hill behind the church, and at first I thought I was getting a bit lost because I've come to this kind of sound barrier that protects the local residents from the noise of the motorway that I have to get across. But I think I'm on the right track because I can see the mound. Let me show you. So that over there is where we're heading. That is Kopiec Krakusa, or the Krakus Mound.
O, cześć. Będzie mama na dole czekać?
Nie.
A trafisz do domu normalnie?
Tak.
Na razie.
So there's probably a more efficient way for me to get up here. But I'm never one for the most efficient route, am I? According to Google Maps, it's about 2 kilometers to walk from the Church of St. Joseph to the mound, which isn't too bad. If you push for time in Krakow, you might want to know whether it's worth coming here or not. Personally, I think it is. It's a bit off the beaten track. Of course, if you've only got a day, you might want to spend your time elsewhere in the city. But you get to see something a bit different coming this way, and that's what I think makes it worthwhile. It's the other side of Krakow that people don't usually think about. There's even a train over there. Yeah, Krakow Podgorze. Look at that. So I've come down the steps from the overpass, and it's telling me to go this way to get to the mound. Let's go and check out if that's right. There's no pavement here, which always makes me a bit concerned that I'm being sent on a wild goose chase. We'll find out soon enough. Well, that's where I want to be, up there. I feel like I'm going a very long way around to get to where I want to go. Maybe the sign was more for car traffic Not that you can drive up to the top of the mound. Well, let's take a chance. I don't see anybody here. Well, let's see if one of these dirt tracks just happens to lead up to where I want to get. That one maybe not. Yeah, that looks like where you go if you want to have something unfortunate happen to you. Yeah. Although it is the right direction. What do you reckon? Should we try it anyway? Okay. Got to think, what would Nick do? And Nick, if you remember the video where we went up to Klimchok off the beaten path, Nick would have taken this trail and said, let's see where it goes. And he would have set up his hammock and had a fine old time. I can always just turn around and go back. At least it's not too hot here. That's the main thing. The trail came to a sudden end and it's brought me here, which is all gated off. Looks interesting, but I need to get up there. I don't fancy my chances. I have a funny feeling I've come the wrong way. Well, it's all an adventure, isn't it? It's a pretty adventure. So which way do you reckon? I hear voices. That's always a good sign. Let's follow the voices and go this way. I mean, they're friendly voices. They don't sound like voices that speak of murder or mayhem. Maybe there's a long circuitous path. Maybe that's why it's 2 kilometres. It didn't look like it was supposed to be 2 kilometres as the crow flies. But I'm hardly a crow. Yes, this does not look like it's the right direction for me. It looks interesting, but it does not look like it leads up to the mound. I might have to retrace my steps. But my goodness, what a discovery. Had no idea this thing was here. Look at this, what on earth is this? Wow. Oh my god. Steps leading down, there's some sort of half destroyed structure down there. This must all have been a quarry at some stage. This is quite incredible. But I'm going to have to go back, I think, retrace my steps, because this is definitely... Look, if I had to go all the way around there to get to this mound, this can't be the right way. Do you know what? I'm just going to stick with it. I know I'm going the wrong direction and I'm going to end up with a long walk. But this is fun. I've never been to this part of the city before. It doesn't even feel like it's the city. And it turns out that the people I just bumped into back there, there's an artist getting ready for some sort of exhibition. If you want to find her on Instagram, it's Danuta Turkiewicz. I think that's what she said her name was. This is fascinating. So there's some sort of track just here and the trees have grown up and around it. Have a look. So there's a bit of a track there, look. It's going back that way and this way. And you can see, I don't know, it goes all the way down just there. Crikey. So the mound is back up there. I've got quite a walk if I'm going to go all the way around there. I can see some people up on the ridge over there, so I must be going in more or less the right direction. Wow, look at this. Awesome. God, can you imagine what this must have been like when that track was actually functional, in operation? Now, which way do I go here? I've seen people going through here, and I hear voices. Did not expect this kind of off-road adventure in Krakow, to tell you the truth. I'm glad that I've come here. Yeah, this looks like a dead end, and oh crikey. I saw some people come through here just a minute ago. Where on earth did they disappear to? Crikey. Right, let's retrace some steps and see if we can figure out a better way to go. What an adventure. Okay, I've retraced my steps. I'm back at that gutted little building just back there. I have a choice really, because it's now 20 to 7, so the sun is setting. I can either try and find my way up on that side and follow the ridge all the way along. I can still hear voices, but I don't know how to get up to where those voices are coming from. Or I can go back to the overpass and go up the other side, which is probably what I should have done all along. There's got to be something that I've missed, a simple mistake of basic cartography, which is quite typical of me. Hey, where's Nick when you need him, huh? Seriously, it's like a horror film. Keep hearing voices, and now I'm back here as well. I can cut through here. Keep hearing voices in the woods. Fortunately, they're not creepy voices, but still, their voices all the same. Girls laughing, for example. Screams. Can you hear it? It's not just me, is it? Not imagining or hallucinating. Hope not. This was supposed to be a simple vlog. It's turning out to be anything but. Let's see. Oh, this one goes up a little bit. Let's give it a shot. Well, I'm climbing. That's got to be a good sign. Let's go this way. There's so many forks in the path, you see. I'm trying to go on the path that looks like it's being trodden the most, but it might not have been. It's all so hard to say. Well, I've just come up on a clearing. My goal is still so distant. Can I make it if I go that way? I don't know. But I'm glad I came up this way because this view is gorgeous. Alright, so another little clearing. There is a path here, but my goodness, it's cutting it close to the edge. This is probably not advisable. So I was saying earlier, if you're on a day trip to Krakow, if you haven't got much time in the city, come and check out the mound anyway. Well, make sure that you go the right way to get there though, because that's my big mistake right now. Hopefully it's not going to cost me too dearly. I mean, it won't take me long to retrace my steps, I suppose, but that mound is there. It's like the white whale now for me. Have to get to it, have to finish what I've started. So if you stick around to the end of the video, maybe I can show you the more direct route back, save you the trouble. Unless you want to follow in my footsteps and go on a bit of an adventure in one of the bigger, busier cities in Poland. And yet here we are in a densely wooded area, far from the galleries and museums and tourist traps. This is a more natural trap. I feel like John Rambo all of a sudden. If I do make my way through this all in one piece, I'm going to dedicate this video to my good friend Nick, who taught me that just because it looks difficult and just because it doesn't look like it's the right way doesn't mean you should give up. I mean, really, I should have just gone back. But what fun would that have been? I have to say, I am quite enjoying myself. This is good exercise. I just hope I don't get any ticks along the way. But after the heat of the city, it's nice to be surrounded by lush green life. Ooh, fork in the path. Let's go and see what's down here. Maybe it's another view. Yep, looks like it. Wow, that is beautiful. Fantastic. So wow, there's water down there. Don't know how deep that is, but I'm certainly not in the mood to go swimming. I am not Bear Grylls. I can see people over there though. They're heading towards where I want to be. And I've just seen a load of cyclists go past, or at least mountain bikers I should say. So this must be some sort of route for them to follow. Oh look, there's even a path there. Huh. Maybe I should go on that for a few minutes. That's probably not a bad idea. I don't want to get knocked over by a bike. Forgive me, Nick, I'm taking the easy route out just for a few minutes. I hope you understand. But until this path, this road gives up, I think it makes sense for me to follow it and see where it takes me. Decision time once again. You can think of this as one of those Bear Grylls interactive adventures, except you don't have a choice. I could keep going that way, but it seems to dip. There are people coming and going, or there's this way. Yeah, look, this is where the runners come and the cyclists. But this, well, I have a thirst for adventure right now. So, oh goodness, am I going to regret this one though? Doesn't look like many people come this way. Well, we'll find out. Gosh, what am I doing? There was a building here once. And a Stone Age settlement. Gosh, what is this, Stonehenge? Crikey. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Oh, it's a fence. Okay, so maybe this decision's going to have been made for me. I see somebody on the other side of the fence. And I also see a hole in the fence. Questions. Do I go through this hole and see what happens? I think because it's getting late. Oh, maybe I do. I hope there's nothing coming down here, because if I have to get out of the way, there's not much way to get out of. Okay, it's opening up a little bit more now, but my goodness, oh, crikey. Well, I get the slight feeling that this is actually the way that you're supposed to come if you come from this side. It's probably not the way that most people would come to the Krakus Mound. But at least it doesn't look like I'm just one small step from falling down into the bottom of a quarry. So there is that going for me. Alright, I think I can reliably follow this path and come out at the other end where I want to be. And there'll still be an hour or so of daylight with which to get home. Oh gosh, there's even a cemetery over there. I wonder if that's for all the people who fell. Certainly hope not. Yeah. Just about pick it out over there. Gosh. Did not expect that. Well, today has just been full of surprises, hasn't it? Do you remember how this video started? With me showing you the St. Joseph Church? It was going to be a 1-minute video. Well, it's not that, is it? Crikey. Okay, so that fence separates this path from the cemetery. And the fencing up ahead, I recognise from my view earlier. And in fact, if I just climb up just here, you can see where I started. So I was over there and I walked all the way round there. Didn't take that long actually. Either that or the ever-present fear of dying made time seem to to go more quickly. And look, will you look at that? Here I am, made it. The kopiec Krakusa. Fantastic. But don't stop watching the video yet, if you are watching it in the first place, because I'm going to see if there's a quicker way to get back down to where I started. I bet you there is. It can't really be this difficult, surely. Right, all I've got to do now is walk to the top of the bloody thing. So the ascent begins. And you know what? I've loved every minute of this little adventure. So what? I got lost. No. You have more adventure when you're lost than when you're found. I'm sure that Tolkien said something along the same lines. And that is one of the best views of Krakow. Granted, I've probably come here at the wrong time of day because the sun is over the city, but whoa. Magnificent. So, originally I said if you've got a bit of time in Krakow, it's worth coming up here. Then I changed my mind because I got lost. I started thinking that if you're pushed for time, you probably don't want to spend an hour wondering if you're going to fall to your death into a quarry. But I can see that there's a simple route for getting up here, and that view is just fantastic. It's one of the best views you can get of the city. So if you're in Krakow, you've got to think about coming here. You really have. That view, whoa, it's breathtaking. Even if you don't go up to the top of the mound, you can still appreciate it really well just from here. Let's take another look at everything, shall we? So there's the mound that we climbed up to the top of when we found it eventually. And then over here, this is our view. I think the wide angle lens of the pocket doesn't really do the view justice. It's times like this that I wish I had a nice telephoto zoom on my camera. Oh well. So you can see St. Joseph's, which is where we started, and in the distance behind that you can see Varvel Castle. It's amazing to think that's on the banks of the Vistula River. And then over there in the middle distance you can see the Mariacki Church. So you can see pretty much everything that's worth visiting, architecturally speaking, here in Krakow. Wow, what a fantastic adventure. And then to get back down, we're just going to follow that path just there. Right, thank you, Krakusa. Time to walk back down into the city and get a beer. Now this looks like a much more likely candidate for the right way to go. Looks bike friendly. The mound itself looked pretty accessible, I have to admit. So imagine if you came up here with a pram or a push cart, you could probably make it to the top. You'd take that route. I'm going to take this one because now I've done my steps target and then some. I think I've done it twice over for today. Now the goal is just to get back into the city before it gets too dark to take photos of anything else. I've only got the one night in Krakow this time. I'll have to make sure that I visit it again. The pandemic has kept me away from the city for a few years. I used to live here a long time back and loved my time here. But to be honest, I wasn't quite as adventurous back then as I am now. I've learned a lot in the intervening period. So there are things that I never took the time to go and see. When I come back, I want to see Nowa Huta, the purpose-built kind of steelworks community there. Nowa Huta is where Richard Kapuscinski made his name as a reporter, uncovering the corruption there and the poor conditions for the workers. Didn't win him many friends amongst the communist authorities, and it probably helped him to then get some work as a foreign correspondent. It's better to uncover corruption in other places, I should imagine. So down here we go, and looks like we're back to civilization. No more of this messing around, nearly going into a quarry sort of malarkey. Well, I have to say that turned out to be a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be. I thought I'd just go to the church and then go to the mound. Didn't realise that my capabilities were quite so inclined for the chaotic, let's say. It's not very well expressed, is it? If I had the energy, I'd probably re-record that segment and then say thank you and goodbye. But I'm exhausted. I think it's time just to say farewell and for me to shut up and get back to the city. So this is it, yeah. Just follow the road up. So we've got the train station in front of me, the one that I showed you earlier, Krakow Podgorze, and then that way we go to the overpass. I'll show you that, and then I'll sign off for today. Thank you very much for watching. Well, will you look at that? That is where we started. So basically what happened was, I came down from the overpass and I saw the sign pointing that way, saying it was for the mound, and I thought, okay, I want to go to the mound, so I went that way. And as a result, I embarked upon an adventure lasting over an hour, involving many hairy twists and turns. But what I should have done was just go that way, and I'd have been there in 5 minutes. Amazing. Well, I don't regret it. It's been fun. So, from me, with Closely Observed World, thank you very much, and see you next time.